Good afternoon, everybody. Keith here again. We're going to redo this one. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. We're going to give it a few to let people get back on here. I just got done doing a video, but dummy me, and I should have known better. I flipped on a YouTube music video of Lean on Me, and wouldn't you know it, they blocked my whole video. So we're just going to redo it. You guys know me, I don't mind talking about this. So hang out for a couple minutes and say hi to everybody. LaFons, good afternoon. We're going to wait, get some people on here, because I think Maritime Liens, as I explained in the video earlier, they're the crux of the whole situation in regards to what's going on in the commercial society or commercial realm in whole. Because the misconception of what maritime liens are and how they're actually being used. So share the video, tag some people in it, get them on here. We need some people to listen. This is powerful information, and we want people to pay attention. You know, even though I profess don't believe your government, don't believe me, don't believe the neighbor, in order to get over that belief, you need to learn this stuff. So share the video, get this information out there, because that's the reason we're all having hardships today is the commercial warfare. So we're going to go over some information. If you guys have been following me, you'll see the last couple days I've placed some things in there in regards to the maritime lien. Feel free to go ahead and copy and paste, but look up those sources and continue reading on that material so you get a better sense for yourself of exactly what's going on. But the basics are posted in 3 or 4 different posts on my timeline here. And so we're going to take a look at that. And this is funny, guys, because like I said, I just got done doing a video, and that's the video right there. I can see it, but they've actually blocked it. They're telling me, yeah. He comes back and says, no, we cannot see it. Yeah, they blocked my video, and they only did that because at the end of the video, I hopped on YouTube and played "Lean on Me" by Bill Withers. So they constituted that as some kind of friggin' copyright violations, when in fact it's in a public forum. I'm posting it in a public forum. I'm not using it for commercial reasons. And yet somehow they think that everybody else can get to use it as long as they put it to commercial use and put it out in the public forum or public domain. But yet I can't use it for free. It's all idiocy, people, and this is what I'd like to point out. So let me go back here. Because it started out, it says 16 hours ago, eyes wide open, before you take the plank out so you can then help another. They're talking about planks when you read this case. And it says, can a bankruptcy court order the sale of a vessel free and clear of a seaman's maritime lien for maintenance and cure under bankruptcy code? Now, that is a specific question relating to a bankruptcy court removing a maritime lien in bankruptcy court. It says, according to the Ninth Circuit's recent ruling in Barnes versus Sea Hawaii Rafting, and this is March 28, 2018, so a very recent case, just a year and a half, and the answer is no. Absent a liener's consent, this is the most important comment you can get out of this. It says, absent the liener's consent, only a court sitting in admiralty has the power to extinguish a maritime lien. Now, this is telling us several things. First of all, before I go any further, it's something I didn't point out before, is that bankruptcy court is not admiralty. And it tells us this here. Read the comment. Absent a liener's consent, only a court sitting in admiralty has the power to extinguish a maritime lien. The answer is no. Can a bankruptcy court order the sale of a vessel free and clear of a seaman's maritime lien for maintenance and cure under bankruptcy code? No. That's telling us bankruptcy is not admiralty. Okay? Second, if you go down to the bottom, this is the first part in this, when they're talking about this case. The Ninth Circuit further held that the bankruptcy court's order authorizing the trustee's sale of the Tahani free and clear of the captain's maritime lien also was in error for 3 reasons. And the first reason they point out, you can read the case and find the other 2 reasons, but the first reason they point out is that the court noted the automatic stay provision of the bankruptcy code does not expressly refer to maritime liens. The automatic stay provision does not expressly refer to maritime liens. And it goes on to say, which are sacred liens. You get that, people? Do you comprehend what that says there? Is something sacred? Can you commercialize that? You can commercialize a cross. And you can even commercialize a man who has a spirituality. But you cannot commercialize the thing which is sacred. The thing that which is sacred is the bond. You can't put a lien on a sacred bond. Why? Because the sacred bond is the lien. It tells us that right there. The maritime lien, which is a sacred lien, it's a sacred bond. It's the bond of the spirit to the vessel. Okay? Comprehend that. When we talk about vessels, we're talking about shipping. And again, that case was talking about vessel. And that's why they talked about seamen's and things like that. We are inheritors of the earth, the dominion of the earth, the land, air, and water. When we leave the land and go into the air, we need a landing site. There is no such landing site in the air. When we leave the land and we go out on the water and we come back to the land, we need a landing site. When we go out on the water from the land, there is no landing site on the water. We have to go to another piece of land. Okay? We're given dominion, but we always come back to the land. It goes on to tell us that shipping, which is in relation to transportation, traffic, and trade and commerce, those are all synonymous. Maritime liability, and it talks about commercial instruments. And when it talks about liability, we're talking about admiralty. When we're talking about maritime, what did it say earlier? Maritime lien is something that is sacred. So again, we're talking about sacred liability. Their commercial responsibility of obligations lies in the commerce, in the contract, whereas the sacred liability, the maritime liability, lies in admiralty. Just as it explained, the maritime lien is only under the admiralty jurisdiction. Their commercial instruments and maritime liens are just their definitions for establishing their maritime liens. And the important thing here is to realize that the lien is already established if it's a maritime lien that has to do with spirituality. Okay? There is already a maritime lien established, and they're uttering of this right here in Babel, trying to convince you that you need to establish a maritime lien when it should already be established, and all you need to do is express it. The lien should already be established, folks. You should already know your spirituality. In knowing your spirituality, that which is sacred to you, and we're going to show you here, nothing can work against that. And it goes on, it says, except as provided in subsection B of this section, a person providing necessaries to a vessel on the order of the owner, or a person authorized by the owner. Okay. Except as provided in subsection B. Before we go any further, let's go to subsection B. Subsection B says, this section does not apply to a public vessel. This section does not apply to a public vessel. Let me point something out to you people. Again, the babble of what they speak on when they put it in public domain, in their public code, for their public servants, for all of the rest of the people to read. Trying to convince people that this section does not apply to the public and therefore it must apply to the people. Shipping only applies to persons. In the commercial aspect, it is synonymous with commerce, transportation, traffic, and trade. It is the performance of the functions of public office using commercial instruments as maritime liens against the established spirituality of man. It is a spiritual war. Says, authorized, okay, the rest of it says, of this section, a person providing necessaries, that is the state, providing the medical benefits through their hospitals. The persons, the hospitals providing the necessaries to vessels in spells of illness on the order of the owner, the state, Social Security Administration, upon the person authorized by carrying the Social Security card, the vessel itself has a maritime lien on the vessel. If they have a maritime lien on the vessel, then why are we talking about establishing and not expressing? Again, they babble by telling you the establishing maritime liens and then say has a lien, telling you it's already been established. So it is not a matter of establishing the lien, it is a matter of expressing the lien. May bring a civil action in rem to enforce the lien, telling us that the maritime lien is not the civil action. It is not required to allege or prove in the action that credit was given to the vessel. We'll see this here in a minute here, because when they're doing these maritime liens, the maritime lien is applied against the vessel and not the owner. This is why they take your car alongside the road. They can't assess the owner, whether it be the state or the occupant that professing they own it by 9/10 of the law. They can only assess their lien, their quote so-called maritime lien, sacred lien, under their spiritual beliefs, while they support it with codes and statutes that are seeking commercial items. Do you get it, people? And using that as an excuse to take the vessel. And then they say this section does not apply to public vessels. Well, isn't the public that's saying they claim ownership of title to that vessel? And that's why they're taking it? Think about this. They only have a right on the instrument, whereas the true beneficiary has a superior and prior right on and against the property, regardless of the instrument. And again, I'll show you that it is against the property and not the owner. It is not for use, and upon operation of law should collapse. No beneficiary, reorganized and given a new name, salvaged as a private merchant. So when they take that road or take that automobile on the road, we have to exemplify, we have to express that the maritime lien is already established. And we have to express that it is not for use, that commercial instrument, that commercial vessel is not for use in private. It is a public vessel, which no maritime lien can be placed upon. Therefore, why would I want to use it? It's not of a benefit. And so upon operation of me stepping into trustee position and leaving the trust with no beneficiary, by operation of law, stepping into the trustee position and telling them to settle all accounts and release and discharging all obligations so that I can reorganize and give under a new name as a private merchant and not a public vessel. This is the basic simplicity. They can't place a lien on the man. They can only place a supposed lien on the property. Okay? Here's where we're going to talk about the ownership and everything. Maritime claims arise in relation to the ownership, possession, mortgage, and general operation of a ship, and are primarily enforced by an admiralty action, not bankruptcy. When they're trying to take over that house, they're trying to take over that property, they don't have a right in bankruptcy to do so. That is an admiralty action. Action in rem or in personam. Admiralty actions do not last forever. Rather, they have prescribed limitation periods, which often vary depending on the type of claim. Admiralty actions do not last forever. You see people sitting in jail for years waiting for an action. That is not admiralty. You hear people talking about a right to a trial by jury, and they have a right to a speedy trial. That is not admiralty. That is common law. And those two can be dragged out for various different reasons. In admiralty, these cases go in and out. That's why you don't see the proof of them. Not only are they in admiralty, but they are private matters. Remember, the maritime lien is a sacred lien, meaning it is not a public. And again, it can't be used against a public vessel, as we saw that. So it is a private action. It is a private cause of action. The officer upon the road inciting a traffic situation upon a sacred right of traveling that has been preserved by the Lord. The Lord preserves thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. And the land shall not be sold forever, for it is mine, and ye are strangers and sojourners with me. So if I go from point A to point B, he's still with me. If I go from point A to point B and you stop me and arrest me and you remove me from the car, you are removing him. Do you have that authority? I think not. Therefore, they arise in relation to the ownership, possession, mortgage, and general operation of a ship, and are primarily enforced by an admiralty action in rem in person, and it's supposed to have a prescribed limitation periods. The maritime lien allows the claimant to put a lien against the property. The maritime lien, which is already established, allows the claimant to put a lien, in other words, a commercial claim. Bring a civil action in rem to enforce the lien. Because he already has a maritime lien on his vessel. And somebody removed his vessel from his property. They did so unlawfully. Or certificate of documentation of vessel. So it is a public record. They used a certificate of documentation of vessel as a public record in an action in rem in a court, saying that they had the right to place a lien against the property, calling you the property and bringing you to the court. When in fact, you can transfer the certificate of title after payment for claim of lien, where a maritime lien just goes on the vessel's record. The claim of lien, payment for the claim of lien, where a maritime lien just goes on the vessel's record. So in fact, when they bring an action in rem to court and they bring the man, they are doing it wrong because they're bringing the maritime lien when instead they're supposed to bring a claim of lien against the vessel, and therefore they're supposed to bring the vessel. The doctrine of maritime lien is that a ship will be treated as the wrongdoer, not the owner. They're supposed to bring the vessel, not the owner. The doctrine of maritime lien is that a ship will be treated, the vessel will be treated as a wrongdoer, not the owner. And they know this. Read that. Very succinct. The ship will be treated as a wrongdoer and not the owner. That the loss, damage, or harm is caused by a maritime property, sacred property. That the loss, damage, or harm is caused by maritime property. If a maritime lien converts to sacred lien, then maritime property converts to sacred property. They do not have the authority to remove sacred property from a vessel. And it has to make good for the loss. So when they take the vessel off the roadside and impound it, they are holding it as a lien against the maritime property, the sacred man who is being forced under threat, duress, and coercion to appear in a court that is not admiralty. Are you seeing all the deceit and fraud? The attachment of a maritime lien will start when the cause of action arises. The attachment of maritime lien will start when the cause of action arises. When that dumbass turns on them emergency lights and professes that there is an emergency and he wishes to issue forth a lien, he wants to put a lien against the property. As soon as he can get certificate of documentation of the vessel that it's a public record, and will not be eliminated even by change of ownership in good faith purchase. Will not be eliminated even by change of ownership in a good faith purchase. Remember what I told you here. They're saying established. They're saying establishing maritime liens. That should be expressing maritime liens. Because they go on to say, except as provided in subsection B, the subsection does not apply to a public vessel. So private vessels of this section, a person providing necessaries to a vessel on the order of the owner or a person authorized by the owner has a maritime lien on the vessel. Person authorized. That person authorized, remember we talked about that UCC 3-402B, subpart 1. The authorized representative giving a signature, unambiguous signature on the instrument is not liable for the person named in the instrument. Those are very specific localities and assignments. Remember that, people. I like to help people comprehend that we are dealing with fraud. Every time you use any kind of Federal Reserve note, anytime you use any kind of public vessel, anytime any public vessel tries to use yourself or your services, anytime you use any kind of obligation of the United States, wherein you're partaking of the use of a public vessel, This is the problem with the Colorado 9 when they wanted to place all these liens. Why do you want to place that lien? Why are you trying to place a lien? Why? If you've got the spirituality about you and you know the importance and the power, why would you think some measly little commercial lien has any kind of power against the sacred lien? My yea is my yea. My nay is my nay. I don't give a flying yea or nay about your yea or nay in public vessels. Now, if you want to communicate with me and our Father which art in heaven and create that singular trust between ourselves, then let's go forth. If you can't operate in that vestige first, then your vessels have no definition, and I don't see them and I don't hear them my own damn self. And I got in a little bit of trouble and they took my past video down. I just got done doing this video. But they took my video down because I was trying to import the sense to other people about this lean on me. Bill Withers, when we get done here, hook up with YouTube and put in lean on me. And we're not talking L-I-E-N, we're talking L-E-A-N. Lean on me. Because that's what's sacred. If you want to place a lean on somebody else's spirit when yours is weak. Because that's how strong spirituality is. It truly is a spiritual warfare. It's not a commercial war. It's a spiritual warfare. And they use commercial weapons. So think about this and realize how powerful your spirituality is against their commercial weapons. Their commercial weapons, folks, are merely a piece of paper. Watch this. Watch this. And you can draw all kinds of feet and hands and heads and all kinds of stuff on here. I don't care what kind of symbols you put on here that says that this piece of paper has standing. It has none. Look at me. Look at me. Guess what? That bone right there, that's called a holy bone. It's the sacred bone. It's what gives me standing when I'm sitting on my ass and I can plant two roots. Two roots. Did he just call his legs and feet roots? Dang right I did. Does this guy think differently? Maybe you ought to start thinking differently. I hope you're paying attention, folks. Because this is as simple as it gets. Like I said, it isn't a matter of establishing. It is well established in international law. Let's look at that. Let's look at that real quick before we go. When we talk about sacred, we talk about sacred trust of civilization. And this is something that was discussed, well, it's been discussed many times. And I will post this link when I get done here. But it says, this chapter challenges the view that the international community's responsibility to protect constitutes a moral or political ideal without a well-established foundation in international law. Really? Really? These people that wrote this or whatever this is trying to say this chapter challenges that there is a well-established foundation in international law, while they're talking about sacred trust of civilization. How can you possibly talk about the sacred trust of civilization and refer to spiritual documents, Torah, Quran, and the Bible, that are the most prolifically published and known instrumentalities throughout the international community? How can you say that it is not well established through those sacred writings that people around the world recognize their responsibility to protect? I'm sure everybody, and I've said this many times before, I've been subjected through the foster care system to many different religions. All of them. Even the ones that I've subjected myself to in researching afterwards and in my adult life, I've come to realize they all are based on the singular same foundation of do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Love thy neighbor as thyself. We are all created equal. We all maintain equal stations in life. And so many other ways to say the same damn thing that is uniform throughout all jurisdictions. Open your eyes, people. The only way anybody can place a maritime lien in regards to any of their special maritime and territorial jurisdiction. I went over that in the first video, or the video that I did earlier and that I'm redoing now. But look it up. Title 18 of the United States Code, Sections 7, 8, and 9. 18 U.S. Code 7, 8, and 9. It's going to talk about the vessels of the United States or citizens thereof. It's going to talk about the special maritime and territorial jurisdictions of the United States, the territories, possessions, insular lands, corporations established or operated under the laws of the United States or states of the Union or whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of ambiguity going on, and it's all in relation to commerce, and not one bit of it in reality has anything to do with maritime liens, because they can't put forth a maritime lien. They're a commercial entity. If a maritime lien doesn't apply to a public vessel, then a public vessel can't put out a maritime lien. So this public vessel talking about challenging, I don't hear it. I don't hear their challenge. Their challenge, as the way it says, is idiotic. It's babble. How does that make any sense? They're stating that the responsibility to protect is without a well-established foundation in international law. Really? You don't recognize the Bible where it says, love thy neighbor as thyself? You don't recognize the Torah, the Torah and the Quran that say the same thing? You don't recognize the Declaration of Independence that talks about equal stations in life? You don't recognize all these writings in the international forums? Then why am I even bothering to read your dumb article? This is how stupid their codes are. I pointed out the other day, Title 1 of the United States Code, Section 1. Title 1, Section 1 clarifies that an enactment for a code to be positive law, valid, to have validity, the code, the title, has to be enacted in the first section. And they tell you the definitions in the first section of words denoting numbers, words denoting numbers, letters, and so forth. And in that, they tell you how the enactment clause is supposed to be in the first section. But yet, when you look in the first section of Title I, that's all there is it tells you that there's supposed to be an enactment clause, but there's no enactment clause in the first title of the code. So the rest of the code that is supposed to be enacted upon the first title, first section, without the actual enactment clause, despite any enactments, has never been properly enacted according to Title I, Section 1. Because there's no enactment enacting the definition of an enactment. They're babbling, people. Come out of her. Anyway, I get done here. I'm going to post my other forum links, and this time you will be able to share the video. So please keep sharing it. I'm not going to do the YouTube thing and have some copyright censorship bullshit. So, but I do urge you people to hop on YouTube and check out Bill Withers' Lean on Me real quick. Put that spiritual sense in yourself today and just learn, comprehend that you do have others that you can lean on. And that lean has to be a specific kind of lean. It has to be a sacred lean. It has to be a spiritual lean. Something that we can really count on. Something that we can depend on. Because no, people, and I've said this many times, if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. I don't need to do this. But I have this internationally recognized position that says I'm supposed to protect. I'm supposed to love thy brother. So I'm doing it. Actions speak louder than words. And it truly is always free. So remember, in the meantime, folks, I'm going to paste my other forum links and everything. It will include that PayPal link. I do have a necessity of a doctrine of necessity to use those just like everybody else. So please hit that PayPal link and share some love. I do appreciate it and I do need it. But in the meantime, remember, it's also important to share the information, share the videos, share all the content, share all those forum links, get it out there. Share, share, share. Everybody needs to learn this stuff so we can truly lean on each other in the right sense. Like I said, the Colorado 9, if they comprehend that the commercial liens have zero power and are in fact treason, that's why they're sitting in that prison. That's why they got 30 years. I'm not willing to go forward in their commercial system because I know it's all fraud. I know my sacredness is right here in this vessel. And this vessel is supposed to be sacrificed. So think about it and realize you have the power. The commercial instruments don't have the power. And so when you sign them, make sure that if you recognize your power, you're signing in the right capacity so you can transfer that power in the right way. If you're going to be messing with their commercial instruments, use them accordingly. Know what you're doing. Know how they operate. Granted, I lost my last case. I did get sentenced. They did find me guilty. But I won. Because I told them all kinds of things. Whereas the previous 5 accounts for possession, 5 counts of possession. And I got a public pretender, and that public pretender kept telling me, shh, don't, I'll take care of this for you. And each time I got max penalties for being quiet, for not sharing what I knew. Today I share what I know, and I guarantee you they better not drag me into that court. Because I ain't going to be quiet. Of course, I'm not going to speak out like I did last time. I'm not going to stand there and cuss and swear at them. I'm not going to finger them. I'm not going to call them communist bastards. I'm going to speak the truth. Pure and simple. The man over here, he's dismissed. The case isn't dismissed. The obligations are going to be discharged, and the case is going to be settled and accounted for. Why? Because this man operating as trustee is operating in bad faith. And he's bringing commercial liens against a sacred vessel as the beneficiary. And so as beneficiary, I have to step out of the beneficiary position into the trustee position to take care of these matters in good faith, in trust, by dismissing this man for his illegitimate, illicit acts. Proof in, on, and for the record of his fraud, and take care of the matters myself, leaving the trust without a beneficiary, meaning that it shall collapse automatically upon settlement and discharge. Don't know what to tell you. The funny looking guy on the bench, he ain't got nothing to do with it unless he wants to step in his sacred position and do so. Because even he doesn't have authority unless he wants to step into the admiralty realm. And he's getting paid emoluments, so I doubt he wants to do that. See how much power you have? You have so much power in one of these, but if you put it down, you can assert even greater power, even without it, because it's already established. It's already there. All you have to do is express it. It's what Derek Gonzalez is always talking about. Express the trust. Express it. Yeah, express it. Express your spirituality. Express what is sacred to you. See, what is it? They can shackle your body, but don't let them shackle your mind. Kunta Kinte to his daughter in Roots. So again, I say to you people, I have roots. I have roots. I have roots in the land, on the land, out of the land, across the land, of the land, and it's all sacred. Every last bit of it. I too was planted like a seed. I too am meat. I too teach. I too learn. So please, start listening, paying attention to what's sacred to you. And remember, it's nothing out there. It's right here. This is the thing that they can't lean. They can't shackle this. They can shackle these, but that's not going to keep this or this from thinking of trying to find some way out of these. Because I don't belong in these. So think about it and remember, like I said, I'm going to post my other forum links. Please share the information, share the videos, share the links, but also remember to hit that PayPal link, send me some love, and I'm going to keep doing this regardless. Know it, people. In the meantime, have a blessed day. And remember, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. God bless you. Have a great day.